Hi there, I'm John Berman, and this is Dan Prisgoda, and I'm shaking Dan's hand. Thanks, Dan. See you later. I might have just caused Dan unspeakable harm.
My personal belief is that the Japanese have it right. We should be bowing rather than shaking hands in hospitals. I personally think that if we were to simply eliminate handshaking, we could cut down on nosocomial infection a lot in hospitals.
That is Dr. Craig Fied, a healthcare visionary whom I interviewed for a spot on 2020 about the new Freakonomics book, Super Freakonomics. Among other things, the book looks at some easy solutions to big modern problems. Notice, by the way, that Dr. Fied is wearing a bow tie. He gave up a necktie years ago.
Basically, every bad disease that any of your patients ever had somehow managed to leap onto that tie and be carried around from place to place.
But back to handshaking. How much passes from one hand to another when you shake someone's hand? At Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, Dr. Rika Murthy had a trick in store for me. See that handshake?
Hey there, how are you?
She had magic marker that I couldn't see or feel on her hand.
And so when I shook your hand, for example, I transferred just a fluorescent marker to demonstrate that particular exercise. So if I were to now shine a black light on your hand, you would see on the hand that I shook some fluorescence, suggesting there were potential transmission of my hand to yours. And on the hand that I didn't shake, you wouldn't see that.
All right.
So I can show you now with the black light, put your hand that I shook under there. You can see all of the...
oh wow, so that's just from shaking your hand?
It's just from shaking hands.
So you passed that on to me. You passed all this glowy stuff on to me just by shaking my hand.
That's right.
Gross, right? So what kind of stuff might be on your hands at a hospital? I had my hand cultured. Now, truth be told, I hadn't washed it in a while, but listen to what they found on them. Bacillus species, Aspergillus niger, Coagulus negative Staphylococcus, Micrococcus species. Now, I have no idea if I pronounced those correctly, but the bottom line is I had a lot of stuff on my hands. So what's the lesson here? Should we be giving up handshaking altogether?
It's probably not so great to always be shaking hands with everybody, but you know, there's also some social benefit to it. So, I mean, life is full of trade-offs, and you know, it'd be interesting to look at the famous and infamous cases in history where people stopped shaking hands and see if they were penalized for it in a social or, you know, Donald Trump said one of the reasons he wouldn't run for president was because he wouldn't shake hands. And I think that's not the reason why he wouldn't be elected president, but you know, it's worth considering.
A lot of what we do is trying to get people to not be scared of things they shouldn't be scared of. And like, we live a long time. We shake a lot of hands. There might be some minuscule risk with it, but compared to other activities we partake in, you know, like driving drunk or walking drunk, I mean, shaking hands is, I think, the least of our worries.
You can find out much more about this on Friday night on 2020, a full hour on the new Super Freakonomics book, some fascinating stuff. See ya.